Welcome to the Krypton Report. It is I, Tyler, and today we're going to do something that I've been wanting to do for a while. We're going to talk with cosplayers, and as some of you guys know, I think cosplay is sweet. I find it very interesting and cool. I don't have the talent to make stuff. I've tried and it fails, so I just give up. But today, on this episode, I have Dayton's Damsel in Disguise. This is Jessica Stover, who does cosplay for charities and different things around this good old home state we have of Ohio, which is awesome because that's where Superman was created. So, without further ado, welcome, Jessica.
Hi, well, thank you for having me here on your podcast. It's been an honor. I'm really excited to finally have some opportunity to be a part of it.
Oh, well, you're welcome. For some of those listeners who might not know, last year, Janine and I went to Cincinnati Expo, and we were looking at some t-shirts, and Jessica walked by, and I was like, wait a minute, I think I know her. And we gave each other that kind of look like, I think I know, yes, hey,
yeah.
I know who you are. So, it's one of the people I get to talk to that I've actually met. So, that's always fun.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but like, have you ever had those weird instances where you're friends with someone on Facebook and you interact with them, or like even if it's like people you work with or whatever, but then when you see them in real life and you try to wave at them, they look at you like you're weird, like they don't know who you are?
Well, either that or they wave to me, or they kind of sort of give me a look, and I'm like, I think I know them, but from where? Oh, yeah, online.
It's so funny. Like, there's a person at work I waved to, and she just gave me this look like, who are you? And I'm like, we're Facebook friends. Like, we work here. So it was, and then I ran into one lady at the gas station. And she was like, hey, I know you. I'm like, I know you. But let's talk cosplay. And before we start, what kind of got you into, like, comics and geekdom and just that culture?
Honestly, I've been very in love with it ever since I was little. I mean, my very first comic book that I ever read was a Wonder Woman comic book when I was 3 years old, and I was just starting to read. And then my mom got me into Archie comics a little bit more because you know how parents sometimes are when they see any kind of violence whatsoever. They're like, you know, so.
Like, whoa, what is this? What is this?
Yeah, let's read some Archie. But I like that too.
Agreed.
I just really love comics and geekdom, fandoms of many different types. I really love superheroes, and I love DC Comics, I think, the most out of any of my favorite fandoms. So that's why I normally try to do DC cosplay.
Yeah.
Different types, you know. I think my favorite so far is my Supergirl cosplay.
Which is a sweet outfit, and we're going to have a picture on the webpage of Jessica and Jania in her costume. So if you're like, hey, what's it look like? That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's the TV show version.
It's an awesome costume.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So, you know, I think it's awesome when you get stuck young into things like, like Jessica has a son, and he's about the same age, I think, as Solomon. Like he's around 2, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 2.5 now.
And I know that, like, I see her stuff on Facebook. She knows how to raise her kid right. Like, we had a long discussion about the Imaginext toys.
Oh, yeah.
Because Solomon got the Daily Planet and Batcave set. So, you know, we're teaching our children right, starting them young.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy my fandom of comic books and sci-fi and fantasy and stuff like that, and I just pick and choose when I want to introduce my son to gradually until he can make that decision himself.
Excuse me. Which is the best way. The funniest story is we went to Pack Rat Comics in Hilliard for free comic book day. And
Oh, yeah?
Solomon likes to get on YouTube and watch videos of like the different people with like superhero toys and stuff and do colors and stuff. And he'll pick up stuff like the other day he said Venom. He learned Venom from there, so now we watch a lot of Spider-Man. But the funniest is we were at Pack Rat and they have a 6-foot tall Deadpool statue. And he goes, "Deadpool, Daddy, Deadpool." And I was like, son, where'd you learn about Deadpool? Janine and I were both like, oh, snap.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't know about Deadpool yet, but he loves Spider-Man. He absolutely loves Spider-Man.
And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Now,
and he loves Superman too.
That's even better. Good job.
Yeah. I'm raising him to be a Superman fan. That's for sure.
I totally approve of that, and I like that. My son likes Superman, but he is Batman obsessed.
Oh.
So, I'm okay with that, though. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, kids are kids.
As I stated before, like, my best cosplay I ever made was last summer. I made a cosplay for Solomon as the current DC's Superboy. So I got the ripped jeans, the red-looking Converse, and then I made him a shirt of, like, the jacket that Jonathan wears. So I'm like, yes, it looks cute, and that's, when we go to convention, son, that's what you're wearing.
That's cute, yeah.
Now, since you like all the characters, and we're going to get into some of your different characters that you cosplay as, but who do you think, just as a character, is your favorite?
Character as my favorite, I would definitely have to say Harley Quinn.
Okay.
Ever since '92. I mean, the very first time I ever saw her on the Batman animated series, when I was sitting there with my cereal, and I was about 7, and I saw her, and I was like, oh, that's awesome, and I've loved her ever since. She's
a very great character with a lot of depth, and it's amazing how well she's caught on. And I don't play a lot of video games, but Janine and I have been playing Injustice 2, and she's one of my favorite characters to play with.
I have not played that game yet. I want to play it so bad.
Yeah, Janine is the gamer, and I like fighting games because they're simple. So, of course, DC in a fighting game, I pre-ordered that thing back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got the first Injustice. I don't have the second one. I want it so bad.
We played the first one. That's how we solved marital arguments. We'd start arguing, then we'd jump to Injustice and fight. It was cathartic.
I need to use that on my husband.
Give it a shot. See how it goes. How did you get into cosplay? Like, specifically? Because you do some really awesome costumes. So how did you get into, like, the higher end, like, nice stuff?
Well, I got into the higher end stuff. My very first cosplay I ever had was Harley Quinn. And the whole reason I got it was because I was at a car show, and my friend Alicia Payne Howard, who also has her own page called Superheroes Closet.
Cool.
Yeah, she told me that they were looking for more people to just show up in costume and, take pictures with the kids, and that she did hospital visits and things like that. And that really got me, excited about it, because before that, I kind of just showed up in, a little something from Hot Topic or, something like that, tiny little fandom dress or something like that. Not anything really big. And then, so I got a huge jester outfit, and I made, I know that you can probably see back there behind me, I made that big, huge mallet.
Which looks amazing.
Thank you. With a broomstick and duct tape and construction paper.
Duct tape is the secret to many things.
It is. I love duct tape. That is how I make all my props, because that is the only thing I'm good at making props. If it's not duct tape or a Nerf gun, spray
I'm taking
paint.
Notes on that.
Yeah.
Duct tape. Jania, write
Duct
that
tape.
down. We need to buy more duct tape. I got it on the list.
Duct tape is the key. I love it. And then if you need to make it look a little bit more finished, just use a little bit of the can spray paint and do the lines or the designs that you need.
See, we're learning. We're learning here. See, I love, and we're going to get into this, but I love, like, the idea of doing things like, I wish I looked more like a character, or, like, could maybe make a better costume, because, was it 2 years ago, Pack Rat Comics cosplayers could come and they did, instead of getting your picture with Santa, you got your picture taken with different comic book characters that were there. And I made like a quick Batman costume, and I have a picture of me and Solomon, and there were some people there dressed up as Arrow, Black Canary, a Ghostbuster, and Huntress. And it was really awesome. I'm like, man, I really would like to get a really good suit. And because I love the idea of going to the hospitals for kids.
Yeah, that's always a really, that's always really good, but it's one of those bittersweet kind of things, because especially when you go into the cancer ward.
Yeah.
I mean, that you have to really put on a strong mentality, especially with the stage 4 kids, you know. But it always brightens their day, and I mean, if I can put a smile on a kid's face and make them feel good about themselves positively, and you know, just let them know that they matter and dress up as a character that they really love. And that's why I do it. You know, I really love doing that and making their day much more bright.
That makes me, it makes me happy because, I don't know, I have a soft spot for kids and I'd like to do more. So, you know, that people like to do things like that to help brighten kids. Like, it was very sad when, why am I not thinking of his last name? It's, Lenny. Oh, man, Lenny. I apologize. He was the one who was the famous guy who did Batman, who would go to all the kids' hospitals as Batman and give out prizes, and he passed away like a year or two ago. Lenny Robinson, that's what it is. You know, and I saw him, I saw an interview and stuff with him, and he did it. And it's just one of those things man, that is just such an interesting way to give back. And it's a way of giving back and just being yourself without really having to, be anyone special. You're not a famous person, but you get to be this character, and it makes children happy. It makes the kids really happy, and a lot of times they ask so many questions, and you got to think on your feet too. You really do, because I mean, you got to really know that particular character and everything, just in case you get asked a random question, you know, and everything. And kids know they're very smart, so you know they can tell, and that's why I know that this is probably a little bit extreme, but from the middle of my ear down all the way, I shave the back of my head. Mm-hmm. Because I get, I do a lot of Disney princesses as well for kids, since, you know, little girls especially love Disney princesses. They just love them. And, whenever I'm in my Cinderella one, mm-hmm. I've got my wig, and it's an updo wig. And before I started, shaving the little bit of the back of my head, kids would always ask, "Is that a wig?" Because, you know, I can't always hide all my hair. So, it's something small, but it's commitment to the character and to and the image you're presenting. What it is that you're showing the kids. Now, because you brought up the princesses, name off some of your cosplay characters that you do.
I do Elsa because that's a kind of a no-brainer one. I mean, all the little girls especially, they love Elsa. And especially, I've actually gotten a couple of little boys' birthday parties that really like Elsa, so I'll show up with Olaf.
That's sweet.
Yeah. But I've also got Cinderella. I'm going to be doing Rapunzel on Saturday.
Cool.
And I've got, I still consider her sci-fi and Princess Leia.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So, it's a nice little repertoire there of the princesses, and then, of course, Harley and Supergirl.
I've got a Batgirl. It's not great. I'm still kind of working on it. I cannot get that cowl at all. That is one of the hardest things, and every time that I find one that I like online, it's just very expensive because I know how hard it takes for creators that create those cowls and stuff. I mean, it takes a lot of work.
Now that brings me to my next question. Do you make your costumes, or do you make part and then purchase part? How do you come about getting your costumes?
A lot of the times, if it's one of the really elegant ones that has to be spot on, seeing as how I'm a stay-at-home mom, I really don't have time to just, make a costume, and everything. Plus, I don't have an income, so if I do get money, I need to spend it wisely. So normally I do purchase most of the costume online, but I tweak it to make it either fit me by, resewing and restitching to make it fit my body correctly, or anything like that if we have problems with it getting shipped, or making props or wigs. I like to make some of the wigs. Other than that, I normally just purchase them online because it's easier for me, and it's more quality than what I could possibly do myself in a short amount of time.
See, I don't know. Have you ever had any, for example, I found this one website, and I was looking at a Superman outfit.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the sizing charts, and the way that they do the outfit, it's like a one-piece suit. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh, man, because the top part is one size that I would need, but since they're just bodysuits, I'm like, it would be way too big on the bottom part. And I'm like, man, I don't want to get it and then be like, oh, this fits great, this looks horrible. So have you ever had any problems trying to get a costume where...
Oh, yeah. That's when I tweak it, because I do know how to sew. It's just that it's easier for me to make, smaller repairs once I get the costume, as opposed to, doing the whole thing. But, I'm actually talking with, Obscura Cosplay and, Mary Mercenary, who are also some cosplay groups, and they're thinking about, doing, bring in your own cosplay night, where you bring in your own costume that you would like to work on there, and do a group thing. And, if you need a little bit of help or a little bit of tutorial, they could help you, or you could help somebody else if they have a question, like a little swap meet, or, something like that, where you just sit around and sew.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That builds the community and gives you...
It does.
It gives you that kind of, like you said, it helps teach you things about your craft.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That would be fun. Man, I would go to that. Learn.
Yeah, it's still in the talks, but once it is actually a thing, then I will definitely let you know.
Yeah, thank you, for sure. It's one of those things you think that conventions would kind of tap into more, like having a learn how to cosplay, or are you interested in cosplay?
Yeah, that would be great.
Because you see all these different convention that have cosplay contests, but if they had something for the person who cosplay 101 if you want to get started.
That's actually a great idea. I think somebody should probably mention that to, Cincinnati Comic Expo, or any of the other, what's the Columbus one?
See, Columbus is weird now because they used to have a really great con called Mid-Ohio, and now it was bought out by Wizard, and Wizard's always a pain because it's corporate. Look at us talking all corporate cons. Now, is there any character that you would like to do, but you're kind of afraid to do because you're not sure if you could actually pull it off or get the right costume or anything that like intimidates you? Any character?
I'd really like to do comic book Starfire, but it's just one of those things where it's a pretty revealing costume, and I just don't have that confidence to reveal it. And also, when I do cosplays, I normally buy the material and take time to do the stuff for it. And I try to make sure that it's with a kid friendly, because if I'm gonna buy it, if I'm gonna be a character or buy it, even a little arm cuff, anything, I've got to be conscious about, is this gonna be usable throughout the year? Am I going to get a lot of use out of it to help kids? Because that's my first priority as to why I do cosplay. I like going to the conventions, but it's just so crowded anymore.
It's hard. Like,
yeah, it's hard to actually dress up and hope that your stuff doesn't either get knocked over or something like that, or you're squeezed in.
I think it was when Janine and I went to Cincinnati Con. No, it wasn't Cincinnati. It was Indianapolis. And we're walking around.
I was there. The Indiana Comic Convention last year?
Yeah, we went.
Yeah.
We went year before last. We didn't get to go we didn't get to go this year.
It was even more packed.
It kind of snuck up on us. So we were at Indiana, like we're walking around, and I see Mark Waid and Jim Steranko and Dennis O'Neil, people who pioneered comic characters and kept them alive, and hardly anybody's coming up to them. But then you turn over and there's the celebrity, and everyone's circling and around them, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool for the celebrities at the cons, but if it wasn't for these people who created these characters, this wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And it's that's what I think the problem with the conventions now is they become saturated.
It's like a whole bunch of fandoms all in one. And, sometimes that's really great, but, a lot of other times it's just I'm trying to find the actual comics, and there's only a couple people with, long boxes anymore.
Yeah. It's so weird, if you go from different ones. Like I said about the Wizard, they're so corporatized and everything. They're more about the celebrityisms. But, so when I got to meet you, you were wearing your Supergirl costume. And we know that Supergirl's really popular right now because of the TV show. Was there any specific things that, made you want to cosplay Supergirl? Was it just oh, cool, new female character, or was there something more about the character that meant something to you?
Oh, I've loved Supergirl, I think ever since I was 7, cause, that's when I watched the little, Supergirl movie from the 80s and everything. Yeah. And, yep. And I liked the character. I liked how, the first minute that she came to Earth, she kicked a couple of guys' butts, who were messing with her.
I love that scene.
That's so awesome.
I love that scene, but I always am how come every time some female hero shows up or whatever, it's always two dudes who are just the bottom of the barrel depraved guys who are hitting on them. And are I'm they can't ever meet any nice people first. They meet the worst of the worst. And they have to put them in their place.
It's hi, thanks for letting me be here. Gonna punch you in the face.
let me punch you in the face. What's funny is I've talked to different people who are Superman fans, and they're when did your fandom start? And I'm like, I don't know, because it was always part of my conscious, like Superman and Batman. Like, I have pictures of me at Christmas and past just in my Superman pajamas. My mom has stories about where she'd have to wash my Superman pajamas and I would cry by the washing machine while they were being washed. So, like, it's, like, always been kind of in the background. Like, it's always been there.
Yep. Yeah, for me, I think, I've always loved Superman a little bit more, I think, than Batman. I mean, they're still great, characters, and obviously they're not going away anytime soon, thank goodness. They're awesome. But yeah, I think, Superman has always been a big hero in my eyes, and I've always really loved Wonder Woman too. Like, that's another one of my favorite female superheroines.
Now, I was going to bring that back around. I was going to ask you, are you doing anything for Wonder Woman or with Wonder Woman? I mean, with the movie coming out, or is that a cosplay
actually tomorrow.
idea?
Yeah, tomorrow my friend and I are going dressed up as Wonder Woman. I mean, my cosplay as Wonder Woman is, one of those little Halloween store costumes, because I don't get requests for Wonder Woman that often, and normally my friend Alicia, who does Superheroes Closet, she does an amazing Wonder Woman. I mean, she looks spot on like Wonder Woman. So normally I always try to ask her if she would like to do Wonder Woman if I get a request for Wonder Woman. But I went out and I bought a really, I bought it for clearance, because I bought it for $20 at a Halloween store, because it was ripped up. So I sewed it up, I fixed and tweaked a couple little things, and my friend and I are going out, we're having a girls' night, and we're going to the Fox and the Hound and having a Kryptonite Rita.
Nice.
They make Kryptonite Ritas, which are amazing, and they're huge. And we're going to go see the movie and just have a great girls' night tomorrow.
That's awesome. Yeah, Jania and I are going out for date night to see Wonder Woman tomorrow. Good. And
that's awesome.
I'm trying to think. Jania, do you remember that drink that I got when we saw Man of Steel? The Superman drink, what they named it? Huh? I'm trying to remember. When we went to the theater to see Man of Steel, they had a special Superman. She thinks it was called Blue Kryptonite or something like that drink.
Yeah, there's blue. Yeah.
And she got that for me, and it like glowed and everything, and it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, the Kryptonite Rita is green.
You should just like take a sip and then fall to the ground, like, it's got me.
Yeah.
That's. That sounds like a good time for you tomorrow. And
yeah, I'm really excited.
You'll probably start getting more requests for Wonder Woman as that character just gets more and more prominent, and more people get more attention towards it because of the movie. And I'm pumped for the movie. Probably.
The only thing is, I really do not have a great costume for it. I mean, like I said, I bought a $20 one. It doesn't look, it's not what I would prefer to wear in front of kids.
Yeah.
Just because you can see the little tiny flaws in it, even when I try to tweak it and everything. That, and also, I mean, I really want to save up my money, for, a more movie, quality one.
Oh yeah, the movie suit is awesome.
Oh, I know.
I'm gonna send you a link later to that Superman suit I was telling about.
Okay.
Get your feedback on if you think it'd be a smart buy and investment. Just get your feedback as someone who does this and finds the outfits and stuff. Just so you can be like, hey, this is a good one, or no, don't do that. So
yeah, I can help you. I mean, for me personally, I like ordering a lot of my costumes, if I have to order a costume online, from Amazon.
Amazon's where it's at.
Yeah, because I mean, I trust my information is going, is not going to be stolen. because I've had my identity stolen a couple times, so that's why I'm
wow.
never really, so that's why I'm never really online. But whenever I do have to order, like my Cinderella one is from Cosplay DIY, which is that's if you're a cosplayer and you don't really, you don't really know how to sew elaborate costumes. Like, I mean, I could if I wanted to. I just don't have the time, and I love these costumes, but I don't want to, I don't want to spend a lot of my time creating them when I've got a 2-year-old in the background,
Yep. Oh,
I've got to be watching him.
Oh, the 2-year-old that you're like, oh, there he is. Wait, where'd he go?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's easier for me to order online, and I love Cosplay DIY and a couple other, what was it? Something cosplay. But they're really good about it. I normally order a size up because they're Chinese sizes, so they're a little bit smaller.
See, that's helpful information.
Yeah, so I normally, if I see a costume that I like, you definitely need to measure your dimensions with a fabric ruler.
Okay.
Around, and even if it says normally it says size expected to fit is 50%. If it's 50% size expected to fit, then go up a size or two. And if it's about 70 or more, normally you're good at the size that you are normally in. Because I ordered a Harley Quinn corset for like $10, and I ordered it in a large, and normally I'm a medium, and I thought that would fit. Well, it doesn't fit. It's too small.
See,
so I'm
that's
tweaking
good.
it.
that's the good information that we need to know. Like, just for people who aren't, who first-time buyers or whatever, first-time people interested, just things for them to know.
Yeah.
Is there a favorite story that you have, or like an event where you got to interact with a kid that just really touched you, like really got to you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would definitely be Antonio. Yeah, Antonio last year, this little boy named Antonio, he unfortunately is no longer with us.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I went to his birthday party because he had stage 4 brain cancer, and he not even 7 yet. He was still 6.
Gosh.
And he wanted to throw a big, huge fundraising birthday party, and invite everybody and try to raise as much money as possible. And this is his idea too, so that his mommy and daddy didn't have to worry about the funeral costs.
Wow. That's...
And I was dressed as Harley Quinn for that one. And then, I guess the parents came up to, all of us, because I was with Superheroes Closet for that one. And they said, could you come to his funeral and be his pallbearers?
Wow.
And I couldn't, I mean, that's something that you can't just say no to, really. Oh. I mean, I can understand if, some of the people I know, had just lost somebody, so there were only about 6 of us for that. But we were supposed to stand up at the very front of the church, when he did pass away, during his funeral. And we're supposed to stand there very strong and, as if we were protecting his body. But, I mean, as soon as I saw his little body there, I broke down. I I couldn't stay in character as Supergirl at all. I just I tried so hard to not cry, but I mean, just watching his parents and his brothers and sisters have to go through that. And the thing is that he was like a little superhero himself, because he did not show any fear. He knew he was going to be passing away, and he was just so brave about it. And that has always stuck with me, and that was last year. But that's just, it's a memory that I will always remember, because he was so courageous. And I can remember his little smile. He was so excited to see Spider-Man. Like, that was his favorite, was Spider-Man.
I mean, there's really not words to go with that. It's extremely, extremely sad to just think about a child that young having to face such a huge thing. And like you said, like, you know, as a parent, your whole perspective on everything changes. Like, I can't even watch the beginning of Superman, the movie, or Man of Steel without crying. Just thinking about if I had to do that with my kids. I mean,
yeah.
It's just,
oh man.
It's
because you don't know.
It's just like, it's so, and I could not imagine having to be those parents. Like, and
no.
And I think it's a beautiful thing that they asked you to do that and that you were there, because it's not about you. It's about the kid. And
no, it's not.
And I think if you're going to honor a character and you're going to be a character, you need to stand for what that character stands for. And you know, it's about the child, about what you're doing and stepping outside of yourself and putting someone else first.
Yeah. One of the relatives came up to us after we were getting, ready to leave, and she thanked us for being there, saying that Antonio would have been really happy to know that so many superheroes came to see him off. It's one of those things that as soon as I got to my car, I probably cried for about 15 minutes. Just full on cried.
I mean, how could you not?
I tried so hard not to during the funeral service, so I kind of put my head down and sort of hid my face a little in my wig. But I mean, it's one of those things where I had to stay strong for him and his family. And the mother came up to all of us and just hugged us so tight. But it's one of those things where that's probably one of the most touching stories I probably have when it comes to trying to help a kid in cosplay, because literally about 2 months before I had seen him again alive and well at his own little birthday party, so it's just one of those incidents, those times when I'm just like, wow, he was a really, really strong little boy to have to deal with that, knowing that he was going to die, but still have a happy, smiling face and just love life to its fullest.
It's a beautiful and inspirational story. Now, is there anything else that you'd like to add? Anything where people want to find you online, or just anything else you want to kind of close out with today?
I'd like to additionally say that if you have like a question, if you're trying to create a cosplay, and sew it up yourself, and you just don't know, then try looking up sewing groups in your area on Facebook or something, and just making that a question, like, hey, how do I sew this up, or anything like that, or just go to Joanne Fabrics or Hancock Fabrics or something like that and see if one of the ladies that works there in the sewing department has an answer to that question, if you're not wanting to put that online or anything. and also to find me on Facebook is Dayton's Damsel in Disguise. I think, do you have the URL?
I do. I'll have it posted on the site when this episode goes up.
Okay, great. And I do a lot of work for charity, and that's mainly what I do is I like to put my emphasis into cosplaying for parades or special events or schools, libraries, hospital visits, anything like that. I do birthdays, but that's literally on the back burner because it's a little bit less kids that I could help all in one, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But, I mean, to find me, just go to my Facebook page, and I only do my business on my Facebook page. I never give out my phone number or anything like that. So that's the best way to contact me for anything.
Awesome. Well, we want to thank you for coming on and talking. I feel like we could probably talk for a long time. Anyone who is a big fan of Superman, Supergirl, and stuff, I would have to tell myself, Tyler, take it down a notch. You don't have all day. I did one podcast with someone I had just met, and we spent 3 hours talking Superman. And
nice.
he was like, I'm going to have to edit this. I'm like, yeah, you're going to. But it was a fun conversation. So remember, we want to thank Jessica, Dayton's Damsel in Disguise here. And if you're interested in cosplay, message us, message her. It'd be fun. And remember, look up in the sky.